Good morning, good afternoon, good evening if you're watching Monday night. My name is Feena Bonoan, and I'm running for U.S. Senate out of the great state of Florida as a Libertarian, and you are watching Campaign Update. And we feature only Libertarian candidates. Today we've got a great show, folks. We have Jasen Wunder from Maryland, and we also have Joshua Joshua from Florida. We may have Sonja from Oregon on as well today. And of course, always at noon sharp Eastern time, we will have an update from the Chase Oliver campaign by Miss Olivia Howell. But without further ado, let me bring on my co-host, the great Mike Scott.
Always question authority. Welcome to Campaign Update. How was your weekend?
It was pretty good. We had a good event this weekend, so I'll just kick it right off into Liberty on the Road. So we had an event in Lake Helen. So this is a couple pictures from that. Dennis Simpson, who was on our show last week, was there, and also Mike Johnson, who's running for Florida House of Representatives, who was supposed to be on our show a couple weeks ago, but I guess there was a scheduling conflict and he didn't make it, but hopefully we can get him back on. This is the four of us. Also, Joe Hanoush was out there. So Joe, and also
Joe is really good people. I love Joe. He's good people.
Yes. And also Stacy from St. Johns County Libertarian affiliate showed up, and she's been really helping out with the Chase Oliver campaign and doing a lot with like some groundwork. We all had time to speak. I'm sorry I don't have a video of me speaking. We only took a live video, so that's really the extent of my weekend. It was kind of this weekend was pretty slow for me. I wanted to spend some time with my husband this weekend and this week. So we're back on the grind this week. So what's going on with you, Mike?
Well, so this past weekend was Labor Day, and I'm supposed to be doing all sorts of amazing things, but my youngest son's birthday is August 31st, and my youngest daughter's birthday is September 1st, and my oldest son's birthday is September 4th. So I was barbecuing all weekend and having fun with the kids, and I forgive myself.
Yes.
This weekend coming up, though.
Family.
Huh?
Got to have time for family. You got to make time for family. You got to get that work-life balance, especially when you're campaigning.
Well, I've looked at the numbers. I truly have, because I was a data scientist. When I was in the military, I was a strategic planner and a data scientist. And I've looked at the numbers, and people keep getting angry with me because I'm not doing as much as they think I should. And when you look back, I'm doing a lot of stuff, but I'm not working my ass to the bone. And I look at them and tell them, hey guys, unless there's a change in America for a U.S. Senate seat, I have to raise about $14,000 or $15,000 a day to keep up with those cats and to spend them. And that kind of money should change lives, not win or lose elections. I don't have a path to victory unless the electorate pulls me in. And that's, let's say I raise $1 million and spend my butt off. That still won't get me into the chair. I have to somehow, and I'm trying to do college tours. That's my current thing. I'm trying to get on college tours. And I'm actually still going around to all the gun shows and to the festivals and to the events. And I'm reaching the people, but buying 3 more signs ain't going to make a difference when it comes to a U.S. Senate seat, because 65% of the people want a third party nominee, and 3 out of 10 decide to vote for one. But one place I'm going to be this weekend, LP Maryland is having its annual crab feast on 9/7/24. Go out to I believe it's lpmaryland.org and buy your tickets if you're out here, because we would love to see you, right? And
good.
Yeah, I've been reading the book Influence by I think his name is Cialdini. He's
Yeah,
Italian.
you were talking about that last week. We were talking about crabs, and we were talking about the book Influence.
It's devastating. It's hurting my soul, man. It makes me feel worse. But it's not up to me to win because the race goes not to the swift. I'm on the ballot. It's up to the people to decide they want to change. And if they decide they're 65% of them are going to vote for Angela Also Brooks, then we're all in trouble because Also Brooks is also bought. And we already know what Governor Hogan did. That's why I call him Lockdown Larry. Locked down the state, mandated the jab.
You've got Angela and you got Larry. I've got Debbie for the Democrats, Rick for the Republicans.
They don't call him Dick?
Hold on. And
Dick?
Feena for freedom.
Feena for
freedom. You got Rick for the Republicans, Debbie for the Democrats, and Feena for freedom. So we're gonna start doing some college things, and I felt like this weekend we were gonna do some tailgating, but then we had the Lake Helen event, and wherein we were doing the Lake Helen event, Debbie the Democrat, Debbie Downer Democrat. She was out doing tailgating at the Florida Gators college football game. So we are planning to go up to Tallahassee and tailgate for Seminole, the Florida State.
You may also want to get out there to FAMU because I'm telling you, I keep telling folks this, and it's problematic to a lot of the folks that are there now, but the Libertarian Party needs, how do you put it really politely? We need some DEI and inclusion because, I look around and sometimes I'm the only brother in the room, and sometimes there's 3 or 4, but if freedom is a good sell, it should definitely be sellable to the oppressed because people of color in this country, as well as white folks, are we're losing 40% of our income to taxes, police brutalities on the rise, fentanyl overdoses. They're experimenting on us. And now they're trying to bring UBI, Universal Basic Income, into middle-class neighborhoods. That's welfare. That's slavery. Don't do that. It ain't worked out for anybody it's happened to yet. Don't do that.
Don't do it. Anyway. So today we're talking about Bitcoin, and Mike, you usually bring up the Bitcoin stuff. But hold on, before we do that, okay. I've got a meme. I've got a meme I want to share about money. Feena advocates for lower taxes and reduce government spending to stimulate economic growth and leave more money in the pockets of individuals and businesses. And in the spirit of growing the party, the joy of communism, Kamala sent us. I liked this meme that I found. And for those of you that are watching today, just for the haters, got this one. That one Facebook friend waiting for a post to disagree with you.
I wrote a poem called Kamala Chameleon. I'm one day going to do that on stage. I just got to I have to get the intestinal fortitude to go forward in Prince George's County, a Democratic stronghold, and give that kind of poem to the people. Probably at a busboys. But I got a constituent letter the other week, maybe 2 weeks ago, and I sat down and I wrote it. And they asked 5 questions, and he pretended to be a student. But you know how you get those crotchety old guys who pretend to be something so that they can see where your head's at?
Catfish.
Yeah, well, the 5 questions were: what determines the value of a dollar? What counts as inflation? Does a dollar have value without silver or gold to support it? If money is printed, does that dollar lose value? And in case of hyperinflation, should all products, debts, services, etc., be set to a fixed price until resolved? I thought they were all really good questions, and it kind of led me, the hyperinflation and all that. You got to kind of hedge your bets. And I invest in gold and I invest in crypto. And people need to understand the basics of crypto. And I have to go through and find this. Let me see. Coins. Everybody hears about coins. And there are coins, and there are coins, and oh my God, there are coins. There are just hundreds of coins, but there's a couple basic types of cryptocurrency. Like I said, I am not a cryptocurrency guy. Jasen is coming on next. He said he loves the stuff, so he's going to talk about this in depth. But there's a difference between, okay, let's go to cryptocurrency basics. And there are different types. I personally prefer the decentralized cryptocurrencies, the ones that aren't controlled by a central bank, because just like the digital dollar, the idea of a cryptocurrency controlled by a central bank or by a bank in general is horrifying. Because things people don't realize is, like in Bitcoin, let's go to blockchain, how it works. Blockchain is the underlying technology. All of your transactions are recorded. All of your transactions are known forever, and they can be tracked. And I mean, basically, a digital dollar takes away all the privacy you ever had from Uncle Sugar, and they have complete control over our money supply. I like the Constitution. It said money should always be backed by gold and silver, but if you want to go to cryptocurrency, it's not terrible, because honestly and truly, it's backed by about as much as the dollar is. It's backed by belief and the people who believe in it. I mean, you said yourself, fiat currencies are what they are, and currency is just, what did you say? Not just a medium of exchange, but you said something the other day.
Wait, yesterday?
When you said it's all just
it's a human construct.
Yeah.
It's a material item that we humans and society have decided to put value on it for the means of exchange for goods and services.
If you read Vicki Robin, Your Money or Your Life, that'll give you it put money in perspective for me. And you have to understand what money is. Money is a measure of the energy you're putting out to get it back. Because it's not just a medium of exchange. It's not just power. It's not always any of those things. It's always a measure of how much energy you're throwing into it. But it's Your Money or Your Life is a really good book. I suggest everybody reads it, especially if you keep having problems with money and us living in debt in a usury state. I'm telling you, folks don't get it. We are doing everything wrong when it comes to money, because you got people out there who are making Tesla trucks into Woodies, and they're probably paying, because nobody pays 120 grand for a truck and just lays it down. They're probably paying a note on that around $1,000 or $1,500 a month. The things we do just to floss and look good in front of folks are horrifying. I went on a bunch of tangents. Hardly any of it was about blockchain technology or cryptocurrency, but
okay.
I mean, we're about to bring Jasen on. He can talk about that fun stuff.
We are. But before we go to Jasen, we're going to play 2 commercials. We're going to play one of mine. We're going to play one of yours. And then we'll have Jasen on. Okay. So we'll start with yours.
Hey, my name is Mike Scott. I'm the Libertarian Party nominee for Senate for the great state of Maryland. And I have a simple question for you. How much is $2 million? Seriously, real talk. When I was a young man, $2 million was all the money in the world. It would have been life-changing. Hell, even now, $2 million would be life-changing. That is a significant amount of money to most Americans. When I was in the military, $2 million took on a little bit different, approach. I had $100 million budgets. I had over $1 billion one budget, and I helped build the president's budget, at least the Air Force's portion. So $2 million is a rounding error. Like, seriously, $2 million was a rounding error. So it's anywhere from insignificant pocket lint to, oh my God, a universal remote control for the world. You know what I'm saying? $2 million is also about what Angela Alsobrook raised in the first 3 months of 2024. Yeah, January, February, March. She raised about $2.1 million, raising her total war chest to a little north of 7 million. She's in 3rd place. Larry Hogan Lockdown Larry just out fundraised her. And David Trone, I think, is in 1st place. I can't even watch YouTube without seeing that cat's videos. He's in 1st place, and he's put in $18 million of his own money. And I know folks are going to say, oh my God, money is how we figure out who supports you. No, dude. Money means you're either bought and owe a bunch of favors, or you're rich and you're after power for some reason. I'm neither bought nor rich. What I want is smaller government, less taxes, and freedom for America.
Never go to the negotiation table and ask for what you're willing to walk away with. That's why we need libertarians who will play hardball and come from the corner of taxation is theft when it comes to your money. Do it for yourself. Do it for your future. Do it for America. I'm Feena Bonoan, and I approve this message.
All right. Welcome, Jasen Wunder. Did I say that correctly?
Yes.
And I missed the Central Committee meeting where you got nominated. It was an online one, right?
No, it was in person.
They got it. Okay, they got it in person, but I missed it, and I'm sorry I missed it because I would have loved to hear your speech coming in.
It was very hot outside, and I wore a full suit, so I was not happy.
Well, Jasen, I'm going to give you the solo spotlight. And if you would just give us a little bit about yourself, what you're running for, why you're running, and what's on the minds of the Maryland constituents in your district.
So my name is Jasen Wunder. I'm running for House of Representatives District 2 in Maryland against Johnny O and Kim Kalsick. And my campaign is about getting the word out as to what libertarianism is. I think that's our biggest issue when it comes to getting votes, is most people don't know what a libertarian is. So when you speak to them, you have the emphasis on not only just less government and lower taxes, but it's more privacy, bringing home troops, ending the war, and pretty much getting the government out of your business entirely.
Great. So how long have you been a libertarian? How long have you been looking at the Libertarian Party? And, what's on the minds of folks in Maryland?
So I probably was a libertarian at a very young age because I was against the government telling you what to do, but I did vote Republican for a long time. I had hopes that eventually they would kind of talk their own talk about getting out of your life, lowering taxes. After Mitt Romney ran, I became a libertarian on paper and started working for a few campaigns, helping out as much as I could and just talking to everybody. I think what's on the mind of people in my area is they're just tired of all the talk about we're going to help you, the government's here to help you, and it's just nothing getting done. The surprising thing is that they constantly, when the election time comes, they pick between one or the other. And libertarians and Green Party candidates tend to be shut out, which I think is unfortunate. I think in debates and when it comes to just acknowledgement, people need to realize that there are already alternatives. You don't have to vote for left or right.
Okay. So I'm trying to get your website up. I don't know if you put the correct spelling in the.
It is. Right now, I don't take any money. I don't take any campaign funds from anybody, no donations. I also don't want anyone to help me with things. So it takes me a little longer to do some stuff. I do have to work on the campaign site. I pay for everything out of pocket myself. That's a big thing for me. So that way I'm never bought by anybody. So if I get elected, nobody can ever tell me, well, I gave you money, you need to help me with this. I do it all on my own. It is JASENWUNDER.com. And it should be up and running today. I've had an issue with getting it, for some reason, published. I'm pretty sure it's operator error, but I need to call the website domain people and see why it's not published yet.
Yeah, it says that domain is a landing spot and it's not.
Yeah, I'm doing something wrong. I'm not sure. I'm not the most computer savvy person, so I just have to kind of sit down.
Roll
and
down the
mess with it
buoy.
today.
Roll down the buoy and come see me. We'll see if we can troubleshoot it together because I got to do some redesigns on mine too. You said you're going against Kim Klasick, right?
Yes.
Baltimore.
Yes.
So how can we help Baltimore? I mean, I love Baltimore, and they got a Horseshoe Casino, which is a Caesars property, and it's kind of depressing. And I'm like, yo, how can a Caesars property be depressing? This is Baltimore.
I
How do we
think it's
fix
just
it?
getting the word out. Like you had said, 40% of your taxes, and I actually challenge that. I think when you sit down and count it up, it's closer to 50 or 60% once you factor in gas tax, sales tax, income tax. I mean, your cell phone alone has 3 or 4 taxes attached to it. And I think when people actually, if you look on paper, I think it's closer to 50, maybe even sometimes 60% once you're done with your entertainment tax, your sin tax. I mean, there's just so much stuff that goes on. I think just getting people money in their own hands by just eliminating that stuff. I advocate for eliminating all taxes except a simple property tax that would go to fund the most basic, absolute basic of necessities like a military, a police force, and just, I mean, your taxes would go from 60, let's say the highest person pays 60%, probably 5 to 10% at the most, but a very small property tax, no other tax whatsoever.
So no sales taxes.
No sales, no income tax, no sin, no nothing, nothing. Just have it a basic property tax per square foot of property you own. So if you have 1,000 feet that you own of property, you would pay the.
You, I think you froze for a second. Hold on. You got to go back. I heard 1,000 feet and it stopped. So Jason is hit.
Okay. Well,
Oh,
you
he's
back?
back. He's
Okay.
back.
All right, I advocate for a property tax based on square footage. So if you had 1,000, like say, square feet of property, you would pay the same amount as somebody else that had the same property size.
So I think like a general like consensus amongst libertarians is simplifying the tax code. You're proposing one based off of property taxes based off the property ownership. Other folks have proposed one that's based off sales tax, and others, of course, flat tax. There's just so many ways that we could simplify the tax burden, tax process to leave more money in everyday people's pocketbooks to make the average 99% of us a little bit better off, whether it's having more money for groceries, having more money to do the things that you want to do for your kids like soccer practice, or maybe getting them that special tutoring that they want to get. There's so much more that we could do with our lives to make it more prosperous if we had just a little bit more money in our pockets. And you've talked about some of those hidden taxes, but the another hidden tax on top of all the taxes is the fact that our tax code is to the point where we need to get someone to do our taxes for us. Like that's the H&R Block, that's the turbo tax. And I use H&R Block. I like them because I don't have to worry about them. They come backed up with lawyers. So if there's a mistake, it's on them. Because if we're out there on our own and there's a mistake and it's on us, they could come for us and audit us for, years of purchases, and just it's just easier to let somebody else handle it, because they threaten us with violence. They threaten us with imprisonment. They threaten us with taking our stuff. And, we're here
That's
talking
funny.
about Bitcoin. And this is one of those ways that a lot of folks, our generation, have found as a new way forward. It could be the better way to deal with the exchange of services and supplies through a Bitcoin environment. So what is your experience in Bitcoin?
So I actually liked Bitcoin and started buying it when it was $200 each, probably around 2014. I got out of it for a while, but then I got back into it shortly after. I always thought it would be a big thing because it's decentralized, it's fast, and it has a cap of 21 million, so it cannot be inflated. And I do think it should be used, but I also believe in the free market. I don't think the government should tell people what they can and can't use as currency. So if Walmart would like me to come in and use Bitcoin or Litecoin or toilet paper, it should be up to the establishment themselves to tell me what commodity or currency I can use. So I believe in opening the free market to all things to be used as currency, and then allow everybody the freedom to exchange how they like.
Yeah. So I remember like when I lived out in Hawaii, we had this situation where we had a guy that was like, "Oh, let's bring Bitcoin on and people can pay with Bitcoin." We were all for that. But there were laws in front of getting Bitcoin into politics. And in particular, there was a 98-page law that they tried to pass in Hawaii just on Bitcoin. And, that discourages the people to use what's at their disposal,
Oh, absolutely. It's a
So,
hurdle
yeah.
in a race.
Mm-hmm. So you bought a couple $200 Bitcoins. What are they worth now?
Well, I had sold them. I had bought them back then, and then I sold them, and then I started buying some more soon after. But unfortunately, I lost all mine in a boating accident, so it's all gone.
You had them
No.
on a drive.
Yeah, that's a joke.
Yeah.
In the Bitcoin world, when you lose it in a boating accident. But yes, I keep all mine on a ledger.
Gotcha.
So
No, you
See,
don't.
I didn't get the joke. That's what I'm saying.
You keep all your boating expeditions on a ledger.
It's on a ledger in the bottom of the ocean right now.
Click word ding. Understood completely now. Now I'm tracking. Yes, all of it is lost in a boating accident.
So yeah, I was buying it back in the day. I remember telling my now ex-wife that it was going to be a big thing, and everybody thought I was crazy buying internet money. And I'm telling you, this is going to be the next big thing. And then sure enough, about 10 years later, actually probably 5 or 6 years later, it started blowing up. But I think we're in the early stage. I think we still have another 10, maybe 20 years to go until it's really, really mainstream, unfortunately.
Well, some people say it's going to go to 1 million.
I don't think, just like fiat currency has no bottom, we have no top. So nobody knows what it's going to go to. I think it's going to continue to go on and on and on.
Okay, cool.
So I got a comment from Joe Hanoush. I love Joe Hanoush's comments. I lost all my wealth, my weed, my guns, and my immigrants in a boating accident. Yes.
I think I was on that same boat.
And at least one ex-wife.
Yeah.
Just
Amen to that.
gone.
So we
yep.
also, I want to go through some comments here, if you don't mind. We've got a lot of comments. So
I want to hit that one. I want to hit that one because that one made me happy.
Thanks, David. Fight. Taxation is theft.
And we didn't even mention inflation. Inflation, the hidden tax.
That is also, yep, that's another hidden. 2% at the very least, if you're lucky.
If you're lucky, yeah. Size heiress.
Size heiress. There we go.
Size heiress. I called him 6 last time. Size heiress.
He said that your issue with the internet website is a DNS issue, and he also says that he can help with that if need be. But I know you already said no, but you never know.
I'll tell it. Thank you. I might have to reach out if I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
And I have been seconded that we need a little bit of color into the into the Libertarian Party, because I was watching the socialist Claudia de la Cruz, and I was watching that Jasmine. I think she's an independent, but she was just, everybody seemed to have a grasp of the problem. Their answer was more government and more government control, though. Always their answer is somehow more government control, and the answer is less government, and the folks will work it out a lot more efficiently. So
you started out as Republican and was kind of disenfranchised, I don't even know, disillusioned by the reality. Yeah, by they're not going to decrease the size of government. They're going to keep increasing it. They're not going to cut your taxes. They are going to keep bringing them up. For every tax that they cut, they create a new one.
The Orange Dawn increased the debt 6 trillion. Sorry, I almost said billion. Who does billions anymore?
Yeah, when Mitt Romney ran, I was pushing hard for Ron Paul. So at the time, that's when I knew I was libertarian back then, but I still had hope. But yeah, I've lost all hope. They're similar. The Democrats and Republicans are very similar. They fight for the same thing: continuous wars, continual invasion into your bedroom, into your house, into what you eat, to what you do with your body. and it's a never ending cycle. It's always you vote for both of them, and they're going to give you the same thing.
Yeah, for
And at least
sure.
they're admitting it now. Trump and Harris have the same platform. All the things they say match down the line.
Well,
I don't
that's
get
what
it.
I bring up to people because I have a friend who cannot stand Kamala Harris, and I'm like, those two, her and Trump, have the same voting record. If you look, they're like 70 to 80% on point. And I was like, have you looked at Chase Oliver? And he's like, they're never
Who?
gonna win. And that's the issue. Everybody says they don't vote Libertarian because they don't think Libertarians are gonna win, but Libertarians don't win because nobody votes. So it's a continuous cycle that just needs to eventually break.
You had the thing for that last week. It's still on there, I think. But 2/3 of people say they want a third party option. Less than 1 in 3 vote third party. Is that still there?
Mm-mm.
Nope,
No,
that's not.
no, I cleared out stuff.
I wanted to find that one. That was a good one. Everybody,
No, this
how many
one.
people want a third party? All of us. How many people are going to vote third party? Hands down. So
I got
It
this
is.
one. Conspiracy theorists for the win. CDC, fact checkers, scholars, MSN, and experts way back in the back. Conspiracy theorists for the win.
it's because at some point we have to realize the government's not on our side and they are manipulating us to kill us. If you look at it, Social Security and healthcare are problems in this country. Who did COVID go after? It went after the old and people with pre-existing conditions, and we're getting more expensive healthcare and we're dying faster. They are actively just manipulating us, and it's little nudges on a spreadsheet somewhere. They're trying to figure out the perfect way to take all of our money and not have us complain too much. So
Another comment from the audience, another Joe Hanush comment, always great. I tell folks who say they won't vote Libertarian for president to vote Libertarian down ballot instead. Plant the L vote seed. Will grow in future elections. We need more candidates everywhere, though. And that's so true. That's very true. And that's, when I tell people that I'm running for the last 6 years, when I tell people I'm running for as a libertarian, they're always like, well, where's the libertarians elected? There are libertarians elected. There's libertarians elected in nonpartisan spaces. And then there's also libertarians that get elected as libertarian. Michael White last week highlighted one of them. Like he'd be like number 5 or 6 of libertarians actually elected into the House of Representatives of a state. That's great. Gary Johnson.
Jesse Ventura won Minnesota. We have a libertarian mayor up north. I think his name was it Keith. The guy, he's Hartford County, I think, up near where the Crab Feast is.
Kara Schultz, city council member,
councilwoman. Yeah.
And so a lot of times what they're saying is that we need to lay this groundwork before we can get up higher. But we've got to. It's like I told the folks this past weekend at the Lake Helen event was, my biggest job at the top of the ticket for Florida, minus Chase Oliver, is to give voters that sense of confidence that libertarian choices are a good choice, that we are ready to take in positions of leadership, that we're ready to start stepping up to be that third option, to take over maybe the dying Republican or Democrat parties. So, Joe Hanush also said Jim Turney for city commission. That's out here in Florida. So, we're here. We're doing the work. We're on these down ballots. We are getting elected in these local seats. Our next step is the U.S. Senate. The next set is the U.S. House of Representatives. The next step is going to be president. As soon as we get some people in the Senate, as soon as we get some people in the House, there's going to be no more of that excuse of like, oh, well, you've got to win some more down ballot races before I vote for, these higher tickets. And in order to get those people into the House and the Senate, we got to run people for the House and Senate. So thank you, Jasen, for running for the U.S. House. And
well, and that was my question. What made him run? I was going to ask him that. So you gave me a perfect segue. What made you run? What made you decide to do it?
So I
And
had run twice previously in 16 and 18, and then I had not run again. And then one day I was playing online and was looking to see who was running this next election, and I saw there was no Libertarian candidate. And one of the most important things I think we need to getting our message out there is to not only have candidates on every possible ballot that we can get on, but to be professional. So I thought that was an opportunity for me to jump in there and fill a void because there was no one running.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The media loves to cover our candidates like Tiger King and, Vermin Supreme.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
know. And
not
as much
everybody.
I can appreciate them because I do think that if I sat down with them, I probably would be very similar in ideas, but I do think those kind of guys give us negative publicity. I mean, I've had friends over the years when I say, "Hey, you should look into voting Libertarian." They'll Google it and they see Vermin Supreme, a guy with a boot on his head, or they see the guy that was on stage years ago in a thong trying to be funny dancing, and they're immediately turned off. There's been quite a few over the years that are like, "No, I'm not voting for this."
That's the average person that's normally turned off, right? But
Yep, and that's who we have to get.
the media has been sneaky. There's a
Oh,
reporter for Reason that watches what I do. I don't even remember his name, but I posted a picture of my roommate wearing one of my new campaign buttons, and she's got like pink hair, piercings and tattoos and everything. And she's wearing my button, and she's got a Daria shirt that says "I hate everybody" on it. This is my roommate. This is, just this is my friend. I live with her. But I posted it because she had my campaign button on it, and she's super cute too. She's like super cute. And anyways, the Reason guy tweeted out, "This is who's running for US Senate in Florida," trying to make it look like that was me, trying to disparage the Libertarian brand by saying that we're not serious candidates. And then I replied with, my headshot and looking all business professional because that's who I am. I was like, actually, this is me. And if you look at my profile, if you actually looked at my profile, you would know that this was my roommate, or at least not me, somebody else wearing my campaign stuff. And I know it's kind of like out there to think that someone other than the candidate in our Libertarian Party would wear Libertarian stuff for that candidate, but they do. Lots of libertarians and folks that aren't even libertarian like my stuff. They like my propaganda. They like my coffee cups. They like my t-shirts. Yeah, and Joe Hanushi got no photo cred. What's up with that? You gotta make sure you credit the artist. You gotta make sure you credit the talent. But the media, they're ready, and they're just right there waiting for libertarians to fuck up, basically.
We need more Jasen Wonders and less Star Childs running, is what you're saying. Yes.
I like Star Child because
Star Child was hilarious, but that's who people think about when the Libertarian Party's there, and we do need to come off as more professional. And so that's why I leave all that crap in the background, and that's why I'm glad you're calling, because you said you were working today. So, Jasen.
I'm actually off today. But yep, I'm actually off today. My kid's first day of school, so I like to be there to put them on the bus and get them off the bus. So
that's awesome. That's a beautiful thing.
So that's beautiful. I always take off, and then I'm going to go take them and get ice cream when they get off the bus as like a first day. Sorry, you got to go back to school. So I was off today, so it was perfect timing.
So they're really young kids.
I have an 8th grader, a 6th, and a 5th grader.
Wow, that's a blessing, man. Congratulations. That's
beautiful. Has its moments.
Oh, yeah.
So
what's your background in as far as like what you do for work, or like what are you bringing to the table for Maryland folks?
So I'm a paramedic. I work at a private company, and I have no history of government work, law degree, any of that. So I'm just an average person. I make.
No, you're not. You save people. You save people.
I have my moments. I'm just an everyday person. I pay my bills every month. I go on a couple of small vacations. I don't have any debt. So you're sending me to DC as somebody who doesn't believe in borrowing money, which is something hard for a lot of congressmen to do. But my biggest thing is also I'm big on term limits. I will only serve one single 2-year term limit. I will never run for re-election, and I will not take the full salary of 189,000. I will actually only take the national average of about 64,000, I believe is what it is. So those are going to be the two things that when I get to DC, I fight for is going to be term limits and decreasing their salary to the national median income.
Excellent.
That's my first bill is term limits, campaign finance reform. I'd love an ethics review of SCOTUS because I have some questions about Citizens United. But there's a, there's a few things we'd like to do, but I wish you get to Congress. And I'm going to push back a little. I don't think one term as a congressman is enough. One term as a senator, more than enough. You might need 2 or 3 just to get in and make things happen.
A lot of
I'm
people
gonna
have
give you
said
guys
that.
both.
A lot of people are like 4 years, 6 years. I'm like, I am firm at one single 2-year term.
Well, then
And
kick
no-
ass in that term. I'm going to vote for you. Well, I can't.
thank
I'm not
you.
in your district.
It's all
Wrong
right. You can
district.
go vote any time to move. I'll help you move. We'll get you a new address.
I'm originally from Chicago, man. Vote early, vote often. That's what we do.
Okay.
So,
I'm a 2-term person. And
Okay.
I think that some things do take a little bit longer, a little bit more planning, a little bit more working than just 2 years. I understand that, but nothing takes more than 10.
No,
Like
some
if
of them
you're
are
in
in
there more
30
than
and 40.
10, yeah. So my thing is, if you're in there for 2 terms, for the House, that's 8 years.
4
For the
years.
Senate, that's 12, right? And that's long enough. If you're in there and you get everything you want done, you stay any longer and you're susceptible to corruption and tyranny. You'll turn into a tyrant. And if you don't get everything done that you want to do, or if you don't get anything done, that you need to move on, you need to pass the baton. Either way, you need to pass the baton. After 2 terms, pass the baton. It's not that hard of a job, and it's a good job. It's got a pension. It's got, you already talked about it's a lot of money. So think about like, why can't somebody who works at McDonald's right now that's, got a college degree working at McDonald's, because they actually do pay a little bit more than what your average college degree salary pays nowadays, because no one wants to work in food. But why can't somebody do that job? All it is read the bill, do what's right, vote, and, talk to the people. Be one with the people.
They
It's not
don't
that
represent
job.
our interests. They try to represent the interests of the people who pay them. And the people who pay them, thanks to Citizens United, are the corporations and stuff. So they lobby us, and they actually track this. Representus.org has it, and a couple other places you can go look. They track the return on investment by lobbyists, and it's hilarious. They spend millions, not hundreds of millions. They spend millions, and for it, they get back billions in subsidies, tax breaks, all the stuff you give to your constituents to play these games so that they'll keep voting for you. Because again, if I'm a senator and I decide to go for re-election, I have to fundraise $14,000 to $15,000 per freaking day, every freaking day. That's why I told them, you get me for 1 term. That's it. 6 years is plenty. If you ask me real nicely, I'll do a second one, but y'all got to ask real sweet like, because I don't want to sit there and bust my head in that den of iniquity all the damn always. I don't want to do it. I'm willing to do it because we can do the job. So I applaud you running, and man, thank you. That's a wonderful thing, and I'm going to tell the folks I know up in Bmore, look for
Thank
Jasen
you as
Wunder.
well. I look forward to voting for you.
Hoorah. Get him. Are you up there this weekend? Are you going to the crab feast?
No, my daughter has a birthday party to go to, and then we're going to the Ironbirds game Saturday night.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
So, Jasen, what's been your favorite thing about running for office this go round? This is your 3rd run, so you've got to find something that you love doing. What is it?
just getting the word out, talking to people. A lot of the times when I speak to people about term limits, everybody usually agrees and they go, that would be a great thing. But what really resonates is the fact that I'm not taking the full salary. and that I don't think somebody who represents you should make 3 times what the average person makes in their district. So when I tell people, do you work for them or do they work for you? Because most people, your boss makes more than you. So why does your representative in DC make more than you if they're supposed to be working for you? And that's when people start to realize, wait a minute, I work for them because they make 3 times what I make. It should be the other way around. That usually resonates, especially with a lot of younger people, because they don't know that the representatives vote on their own pay increases and they make so much compared to the average person.
Didn't they make
Yeah.
them automatic for a while? Or are they
They might
still?
have. They very well might have. The last time I checked, then they voted, I think they voted for like a 10% increase. And most people don't get a 10% increase in pay.
Well, they got to keep up with inflation, right?
It
That
is
they're
tough. Oh,
causing.
yeah, that 2%. They keep telling you.
You would think with all the fringe benefits and the compensation to run for office that they wouldn't need all the insider trading. It's like once they get there, that $180,000 isn't enough. And they go and they get greedy and they start doing what most people would go to jail for, what Martha Stewart went to jail for, which
Mm-hmm.
is insider trading.
The dude in
And
Jersey had gold in his house.
mm,
Oh, that one guy, yeah.
Dollar Jefferson from Louisiana won while he was found with like 90 grand in his freezer of marked FBI bills, and his billboards were just the dollar sign, and he won. This was a house race a little while ago. Look him up, Dollar Jefferson in Louisiana.
I know.
This is corrupt.
I think when you're elected, you should have to, by the time you get elected to the time you serve, you should have 0 assets. So I will have 0 assets. I will have nothing invested. I will have only cash sitting in my account. And I will never buy or sell a stock or Bitcoin or anything while in office. And I think that's how it should be. And I mean, Nancy Pelosi makes a better return on her investments than Warren Buffett, who is one of the best investors of all time. And nobody says anything about that.
yeah. You're better than I am. If I get elected, I'm totally gonna start a retirement fund based off of Bitcoin because it's just like something I've always wanted to do. I mean, I don't have a job right now. I don't make money, so this
Okay.
is a job for me. Like this is a potential job, and yeah, I mean, I would love to say I would take the medium income, but I could see myself doing so much more if I took it
It's
and gave to charities, gave to the party, gave to other candidates to grow our party. That's just me.
mhm.
I do give, even though I don't make money, I give to other candidates. I give to other campaigns because I know that that's important. I know it's important that we show a community and everything. And I just feel like that's a lot of money. And I would never have to work another day in my life if I did 2 terms. I'm just not
it's
another day in my life.
it's a hard commitment, but that's what makes it serving. I mean, I
Mhm.
will be taking a massive pay cut. I'll be going from 135 to 65, 60 to 65 for 2 years, which is very hard. But I think if you choose to serve, that's what you have to do. You have to make those sacrifices.
Mhm.
That is a unique take. I didn't hear it. Those folks are going to pay me every dollar for having to walk up there. And I do think that you should be able to invest, but not necessarily stocks, mutual funds, index funds, things that index to the market, that gold, silver, land, things like that. Even Bitcoin, I don't think that's more speculative than investing. So I think that there should be nothing wrong with that. But just make sure that none of the decisions you make conflict. Like if I'm serving and looking over the Department of Interior stuff, I'm not going to go start investing in oil companies because I can help
Mm-hmm.
push my profits. I'm not going to do that. So I don't think you should be barred from investing, but you should be seriously circumspect with the choices you make.
Well,
But
I can
I
only
respect you
guarantee
going not at all.
I will only guarantee I will have 0 investments. It will be just cash sitting in a savings account for 2 years, and then once I'm out, I can go back to reinvesting. But
Why
that's
not
just
put
my
in
personal
gold?
belief.
That's cool though. That's a wonderful thing. That is an ethical approach. I would put it in gold if nothing else, or silver, and actually just have it stacked in the safe.
Sticking next to Bob Menendez is gold.
So we've talked a little bit about the economy. What other like issues are you running for Maryland in like promoting?
Just getting out of your life. I'm heavy on the term limits and the reduction in pay, but just the idea that libertarians are not here. We are here to take over the government and leave you alone. We're not going to be telling you what to do, what to eat, where to go, how to spend your money. I mean, if you choose to give your money to Palestine or Israel, it's your choice. I am not going to be
Mhm.
going there and sending your money somewhere. So the idea is that when you vote for me, just know that you're voting for somebody who has a lot of integrity, who's very honest, and will not infringe on your life. I will not sign a bill that raises your taxes or sends anyone's children to fight in a foreign war. And all transparency, anything and everything that comes before my desk will be viewed by the public.
American tax dollars in America.
In America, and you choose to send your money how you choose. I'm not here to take money out of your wallet and give it to anyone else.
Transparency, ethical decision making, a focus on freedom. You sound mad libertarian, Jasen Wunder. That's awesome.
So hopefully I get there. We'll see.
That's awesome.
So I'm gonna give you the solo one more time and give your last final elevator pitch. Make it good. Get the voters out. So like Mike said a little bit, I do clip these up and make them available for you so you can put them out on social media. But that's if the clip is viral. So make it good.
Okay. Well, once again, my name is Jasen Wunder. I'm running for House of Representatives District, and I'm voting to get the government out of your life. I take no campaign contributions, not even from my own mother. Everything is paid for by myself. I have no staff. You can always call and ask me any questions. I give everybody my phone number to my direct phone. It's 410-916-5805. You can call me or text me anytime. I like to hear from people to know what your ideas are that we can help fix our country. I will only serve one single 2-year term. I will only take the pay for national median income, and I will never, ever sign a bill that sends your children or anybody off to a foreign war or any of your money to anybody other than yourself.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you
Thank you guys
running
for having me.
office. Yes.
I'm glad you came through, and I appreciate it because I don't have a big staff either. I got my cousin who's serving as treasurer, and that's it because I refuse to do it. I tell people $20 million should save lives and change lives, not win or lose elections. So if you like what you hear, call Jasen and then tell others. If you don't like what you hear, he just gave you his phone number, and I know it's his number because I called him earlier. So if you don't like what you hear, text him and you guys can discuss it. Because 20 million should change lives.
I only ask if you're going to crank call me, make it funny.
Make it good, you know.
So thank you guys for the opportunity.
No, dude, thank you for coming on. Thank you so much. I'm glad you came out because it's our job. And I really wish National would take this a little more seriously and the different state components. It's our job to push candidates. And like you, I've turned down help from the Maryland guys because there's only so much they can do because we all have jobs, we all have lives. But I mean, I really think we could do a more concerted push. And I'm still trying to get all of us running for the House and Senate up on the Hill for a photo shoot, maybe during Rage Against the War Machine.
Okay.
So we're going to talk to a few folks about that because Feena said she might be in, but it might be too close for you.
I'm going to just say we're not going to do it unless we fundraise for it.
That's true, too. I am not doing the 40 hour. I'm not. She wants to filibuster for 40 hours. I can't even stand my own voice for 2. But we're going to talk about that offline, man.
Well, we are going to go to commercial. And when we come back, we'll have Amber with the Chase Oliver update. And thank you again, Jasen, for coming on. And folks, if you could just give Jasen a shout out, a like, a follow on social media. You're on X, you're on Instagram, yes. Facebook, all that good stuff. Yeah.
Facebook and X.
All right. Well, we will give you a follow. All right. Thank you.
I'm an outsider. I'm not a politician. I'm a mechanic by trade. I'm a single father of 3 amazing sons. My oldest is disabled. He'll never be able to do the things that his younger brothers can do. I've struggled, like the many Americans and citizens in our nation, to find a school for him that fits his specific needs. I'm not a millionaire. I don't come from huge money. And the reality is, our education system doesn't provide schools for these specific needs. I've struggled to maintain a full-time job while standing at a bus stop that's late. I've struggled to get to work on time. I've struggled to survive in a system that doesn't represent the working class. I've had to budget finances. I've skipped meals. I've done what every loving parent has had to do and sacrifice to ensure that their children are properly taken care of. And I finally made a choice to run for Congress to make sure that this chaos stops. That every single parent and every family has an opportunity to thrive and succeed. To give us a fighting chance again. I'm Nathaniel Snyder. I'm not a politician. I'm a working class American. I'm a single father. And I'm done watching the political class destroy us. SnyderForFL.com.
I'm honored to be the first Libertarian candidate for president to ever campaign in all 50 states, and I did it before our nomination. This kind of energy sends a clear signal to the old two-party system that we are a 50-state party, and this is a 50-state campaign. Voters deserve a president who doesn't merely focus on a handful of swing states, and the Libertarians will be on the ballot for those voters who want to reject the two-party mediocrity and embrace building a foundation that will last for years to come.
Hello,
Hey.
Amber.
My lighting's not any better today.
You so white.
I know.
You make me look not white.
Anyway, what's up with you guys today?
Not much. I heard you got a new kitten.
Yeah, do you hear her?
Can you see it?
Come here. Come here. Oh, we'll go under the desk. Hold on. Let me see if I can grab her without rolling over her.
So
It's a black kitty too. Oh, look,
Fluffy.
she's doing the paws already. She's doing the paws.
She was on my head earlier.
Oh, I love it. What's her name?
Well, her prison name is Dolly. I haven't given her a real name yet.
Aw.
is her prison name?
Her shelter name. Okay, you gotta get down.
Oh, I hear her purring. Oh, I could hear her purring.
So loud.
She got a loud motor.
Mhm. It's the best kind of purrs. Loud purrs.
Yes. So what's going on with the Chase Oliver campaign?
Well, Chase is on his way to the 11 Alive studio to do an interview with them today. We've got lots of media the rest of the week. Here she is again. He is doing Fox 5 tomorrow, and then the Political Orphanage, maybe AJC if we can fit it in. And then he's going to do an X-Space with Kristen Alexander, and then we're going on the Hill again, and we're doing Michigan Public Radio next week.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't really check out I did not do as much homework as I usually do. And let's see what we got going on Vote Chase Oliver.com. Beep, 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 beep. Share screen. So, folks, if you haven't been there, this is the votechaseoliver.com website that I'm going to show off today. So there's a nice little video. It's the commercial that we've been playing. It's the your vote is not wasted. Most influential libertarian voted on by the folks over at Rolling Stone. Latest from the campaign. Let's see. The Soho Forum. That's nice. Let's see what we got up here. About platform media. Let's see his platform. Oh, I know he's been doing some endorsements lately. He has been doing some endorsements. So this has definitely filled up some.
I think we just redid our policy page to include the Voter Bill of Rights.
Oh, you guys totally have not updated your website because this guy's not even running for office anymore. I know because I talked to him and you don't have me. And I noticed something. I'm gonna go ahead and I don't like shitting on people's websites, but thing that bothered me that made me reach out to make sure that I got my Chase Oliver endorsement too is that you don't have a single female up here that you've endorsed. And I'm just gonna put it out there as nice and clean and plain as I can about that. You guys got to get some more folks up there.
I will fuck the case.
Get you a token up there because this is all dudes. That's disappointing.
We've endorsed. I'm so bad at names. There is a lady out in. I know we've endorsed
endorsed me.
We endorsed you. We endorsed the lady that's.
I've seen like 3 or 4 ladies that got endorsed that came through the Twitter account.
So, yeah, the social media accounts. Yeah, we've got them. I just don't think that they've gotten the website updated.
Got to get up on that. What's on the shop? What you guys got at the shop right now? Let's look. All materials, all products. Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys have a necktie now. $19.99 for a necktie. That's pretty good.
It didn't jump. It stayed on the endorsements page.
Oh my. Sorry. Let's do this.
It's okay.
Again. Shop.
I met Don Rainwater at the LP National event. Seemed like a nice guy.
Watch, we'll do this. Present, share screen. We got to redo it because it pops up in a different screen. That's all right. So all products. Let's see if it's going to make me do all products. All products. Yes, good. All right. Necktie, as I was saying. Looks like got a hat, a clutch bag.
Do we still have the bikini on there?
That's interesting. Well, it's not bikini season anymore. Maybe for me.
It's hot tub season now.
Right. It's hot tub season. Oh, more neckties. Go neckties. I don't love that dress. I don't love that. I don't like the print at the bottom. I like the top, but I don't like all the, maybe could have, I know you guys are working with like a supplier and everything. So
yeah, Michelle McCutcheon had a printed skirt. I think if you see, I don't know. I think I deleted, or somebody probably deleted the ones from Ohio from last week, but she was wearing it in there. Quit eating my plant.
Where did the oh wait, no, that wasn't you guys that had the cat ladies for Chase, right?
That was Daniel.
Proud Libertarian.
Yeah.
So when people make a purchase with Proud Libertarian, do you know if there's a donation that goes to the Chase Oliver for President campaign?
So he just does fan merch. All of our merch is housed on our site.
Yeah, but does he give you a donation for does he mark up the prices and give you guys a campaign donation for
I'm not sure. That's not my area of expertise, so I don't know.
You haven't talked to him about, because I got prices and stuff from him.
Well, me personally, I have not talked to him. I'm sure someone from the campaign has talked to him, but I just do the media. I don't do any of the store stuff.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see. anything else you want to share with us about the, because I know that I know they last week at least they put out and it's been sporadic. They've been putting out little graphics on his social media page that have been really good about like where he's at, where he's going. And I know that you said last week, this week was his mom's birthday, and that he was going to kind of just settle in and work on some stuff to be made for next week. So
Yeah,
I'm
we're
looking
doing.
forward to that.
We were gonna do shoot some shorts, some content for social media, which we're still gonna do that. So
Okay, great.
When's the
Yeah.
next time you guys are coming to DC or around the area? DC, Maryland,
hopefully soon, like within the next week. Hopefully, I'm not sure if that's gonna pan out or not, but we're going to Indiana and then California and then Texas. And we are not doing the Fanboy Expo.
Mm-hmm.
If you come out this way, make sure to hit me up because I would love to come out to the event and show support.
Yeah.
So, two more questions, and I'll let you go. Be with your kitty cat. So, first question, any update on election night?
We are still working on it. We're going to have something. We've got a couple people I met talking with about doing something.
Still either Tennessee, Texas, or
oh, sorry, I was thinking about debate night. Yeah, that hasn't been finalized yet. We're still looking at Tennessee, Georgia, possibly Texas.
Okay,
and that
so
could
still
change.
haven't ironed that out. And last question, and I don't know if you know this or not. This is kind of like I'm coming out of left field for you usually on this one. How much has he raised?
I don't know. That's a better question for Evan.
Okay. Can you find out for us for tomorrow? Because I want to put that out because there's milestones that we want to get. We want to make sure that we're still raising funds and that we're at least on target for previous runs.
Mm-hmm.
And remembering that our previous runs, those dollars were actually worth more.
Mm-hmm.
So if we haven't raised as much as we've raised in previous years, that's really bad. Even if we've only raised as much as we've raised in previous years, it's actually bad because the value of our dollar has decreased by at least 20%.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to raise 20% more.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'll ask Evan and I'll try to find a number for you.
I always say this, and Joe S. said it too. He did it in the comment. We were talking about voting the lesser of two evils. All it takes for Chase Oliver to win, for Feena Bonoan to win, for Mike Scott to win, it doesn't take $20 million. It doesn't take a huge concerted push. It takes an overburdened electorate getting pissed off and deciding that they'd like to make a change. That's it. All it takes is for them to vote Libertarian. How do we get that message out there? So that's the message I got. Let's get them out there for Chase.
Yeah.
My cat's eating my plant.
It is so nice to see you again and wonderful to meet your new kitty cat.
She's gonna
You said Dottie? Dolly.
That's her. Yeah, I'm gonna rename her. She doesn't look like a dolly to me. If anybody has suggestions on what I should name my new cat, let me know.
Well, I'll tell you, I have one cat named Mises. Folks in this crowd may enjoy that one. And he's one of those like a tabby colored cat. So he had the big M on his head and on the back of him when he was a kitten, and still today, it looked like he had a little Liberty torch on the back of him in white. So that's why I named him Mises. It kind of reminded me of just the combo of the M plus the Liberty torch. All right. Anyways, and then I have a black cat. And her prison name was Shadow because she liked to go in the shadows and curl up and close her eyes and no one could find her.
Mm-hmm.
And she is still the most loving cat that I've ever had. I swear she's part ragdoll. And so I named her Lucy so I could say, I love Lucy.
That was my old kitty's name.
Aww.
Yeah. Yep, I had her for 17 years.
Well, I can't wait to find out what you're going to name this kitty cat.
We'll figure it out. Maybe she'll have a name next week.
Yeah. All right. Well, Amber, it was good seeing you. Thank you for your Chase Oliver update. So once again, this is assignment for next week. Find out how much money he's made, how much money he's coming in. And like, I want to know where to be on election night, because that's plane tickets and hotels and yeah, I want to go. So even if you can't announce it on the show, let me know so I can get my plane tickets.
I sure will.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Amber, and we will see you next Tuesday.
All right. Bye, you guys.
Bye. See, now the meow makes sense.
Now the meow made
And
sense.
meow makes sense. All right, folks, second half of the show, getting ready to go on. We've got another Florida candidate. I know last night we said we were going to have Sonja from Oregon on, but things change. And we've got Joshua
Krakow. Krakow? Did I say it right?
Say it.
Krakow.
Krakow.
Yes, sir.
Joshua Krakow.
Krakow.
Yeah, it's Polish. It was one of the it was the capital of Poland and one of the largest cities in Poland, and also was where one of the largest concentration camps was during World War II. So very well versed on the history of government corruption.
Wow.
Sounds like it. Is that what drove you to the Libertarian Party?
I don't know really what individual freedom was. I was sold on freedom in school, like most of us were, and that America was free. And then, I mean, you continuously open books and you see the complete opposite and start seeing all the lies. And after a certain point, I feel like most libertarians start to realize things are better in the individual's hands rather than a collective authority.
Well, Joshua, we're gonna stick to our script a little bit. And I'm going to give you the solo spotlight. And if you could give us your little 2-minute elevator speech, what you're running for, why you're running, and go.
Okay, so my name is Joshua Krakow. I'm running for State House District 77. My biggest thing, what put me into politics and actually running, was going through our family court system. I saw the abuses that our family court system has done. I have started a nonprofit, and I reached out to our state rep and felt like family court was something that our state really, many states, but my state really needed some change, and started getting involved in politics and started figuring out some policies, and really just slowly but surely becoming a community leader more than a politician. And this is my hometown, and I really want to represent my community. And unfortunately, we've seen gentrification and so many different issues living in Florida my entire life. And I feel like I'm well equipped to actually represent the people in my area.
So what area of Florida is it around? It's around Naples, correct?
Yeah, so I'm north of Naples. I'm in Southwest Florida. I'm Fort Myers, and then we have city Lehigh is unincorporated city, and then it's more or less the area that I'm representing is unincorporated part of Lee County. So unfortunately, a lot of the working class that get pushed over for the richer socioeconomic individuals, and yeah.
So are you working with Jim Turney at all?
No, he's Central Florida, I think.
A little bit more central than what you are. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to coming out there. I've got a friend in Naples that I can I don't know if I can stay with them or not. Haven't really asked yet. But that's definitely one of the areas I need to get down to. What kind of campaigning strategy are you working with right now?
Somehow I'm duplicating myself and going to I can't even count how many political events I've been to and fundraisers. And during the primary election, I've aligned with a lot of the grassroots candidates in the Republican Party though I've worked with the NAACP and done events with them as well. I'm actually working with my Democrat counterpart because unfortunately the Republican candidate is a rhino. She is a part of the corruption in the state of Florida that I would talk about, where a lot of state house representatives basically act as PACs and funnel campaign funds, and they don't represent the people. They just represent the corporations, and the Republicans in my area are fed up with it. And then the Democrats like that I'm actually bold. I'm the chair of the Lee County Libertarian Party as well. So a lot of my policies are very left and right, and they shouldn't be very controversial. So
you're saying that the Republican Party in Florida, those that are in power, that have been in power for decades, are corrupt and can't be trusted?
Well, that's all government. I mean, from 1880 to 1980, the Democrats ran Florida. I like to bring up our former governor, Carlton, who even back in 1929 to 1933, he was offered a bribe for $400,000 to pass a bill for betting on Hialeah. And he said, if my autograph is worth that much, I should probably keep it. So he vetoed the bill, and it became so controversial for the lobbyists that they had threats come to the governor's house and his family. President Hoover ended up sending military troops to protect him. And even with that being said, having the most powerful leader in the state executive branch, it didn't matter with all the threats and everything, because the state legislature ended up getting a supermajority and overturning the veto. So again, the nobility, it's an endless cause unless if we fix things in the community level and get the authority away from government.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping you were going to reference the other Florida governor candidate that's running for U.S. Senate right now, but corruption
I just met him the other day, actually.
Say again?
What do you think of him?
I just went to one of his events the other day.
How'd that go?
I use the opportunity to bring up the issues that my constituents have major concerns with, and one of them is our homeowners insurance in Florida, which our homeowners insurance.
Was that the YouTube link that you sent me?
I don't know. I've posted a lot. So,
yeah.
But yeah, so I brought up the citizens insurance, which is a socialized homeowners insurance in the state of Florida, where whether you use home or citizens or not, your taxes go to citizens insurance. Wow. And I brought up how it was socialist, and thankfully he actually pointed the pen. I did call out not the woman that I'm going against, but another state legislature that unfortunately is a part of the corruption, and she did not want to talk on it, which I think also amplified the point.
You should actually name their names, because we don't mind doing that here.
Okay, yeah,
It's true.
The other state rep that was there was Jenna Persons Malika, which she's extremely corrupt. Her father is the chair of our Lee County School Board. And then her husband just got elected to be our county commissioner. So the amount of nepotism in Lee County is absolutely disgusting. Like I said, I've worked with a lot of the grassroots Republican candidates down here, and we definitely deserved a lot of change. Our supervisor of elections was a horrible race. I mean, we need to just take the authority away from government, in my opinion.
Well, and that's because people, like you said, this guy said, if my autograph is worth so much, I should probably keep it. People don't take those principled stances anymore. They figure I may as well capitalize on it. It's the type of people we allow into office, and that unfortunately is a byproduct of granting power based on a money, power, popularity contest.
I like to say morals are relative. They are not universal. And laws are just universal morals forced on us by popular vote and a politician behind that vote. Mm-hmm. And morals, it's just AstroTurf. Yeah. You can't create morals through government force.
The government should be there simply to protect, not to enforce morality or what was it? Compassionate authoritarianism. We're not doing that one either. You're not going to go, no, we have to feed everybody and you're going to help do it. So here's, give me 20% of your income.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, are you doing any sign waving or phone calls, text banking, any of that good stuff?
I haven't done phone calling or banking. I do a lot of door knocking. I have an electric skateboard, and I literally ride around my neighborhood and around my area. And if the garage is open, I don't want to knock on doors, but if the garage is open, I look at it as an opportunity that they are home and they are receptive. And then I
Do you have any?
also, a lot of my message, what?
Do you have any printed material to put on people's doors?
Not yet. I literally just finalized in State House. We have the opportunity to floor 7 bills. So I really wanted to make sure that I knew which bills I was going to stand behind, and actually publish it in my material. So that way my constituents can say, hey, we know exactly what he's going to end up doing as far as policies. Now, the way that I spend the finance that the State House has, they have to believe that I'm going to be frugal with it. And I continuously, or based on my record, I think I show that I'm very frugal, and it's not my money. One of my bills is I want to limit campaign funds for the state of Florida for all constituents to $1,000 for private and entities. Because again, I think that a lot of that corruption comes from monetary aspects, and that is where you get that control, and you don't really get the voice when you can't really afford to compete. My district is 189,000 people. And I mean, without really believing in my community to have that grassroots effort of, hey, this is an individual that we've learned to trust and that we're going to end up supporting, it's all just a flyer game or being able to get the things in people's hands. So it's very, very expensive to run a state house campaign, unless if you're putting the time in, and I'm putting in 110 times the work because I have 110 times less income.
How much have you raised?
I'm self-funded right now. I've had my nonprofit partner give me $100. But I've also had one of my best friends built my website and has done all my photography. He is an amazing photographer for real estate and anything. Home Focus is his company. He does a great job. And then everything else has just been support. Working with the grassroots candidates, I've really earned a lot of respect from my constituents, and they've just been helping me know when there's events and giving me advice on, hey, this is something that you should go to, or hey, here's an opportunity. So I'm trying to take every opportunity to speak and actually just be the honest voice.
Okay. Well, speaking of your website, we've got your website here. That is a great picture. That is a great picture. I love the sunset in the back. I love how you're in focus. So you've got some great quotes here. Real patriotism is a willingness to challenge the government when it's wrong. That's a great quote from Ron Paul. Oh, what's your George Orwell one? The real division is not between conservatives and revolutionaries, but between authoritarians and libertarians. Very good. Let's see, what does Dave Smith say? The state is the mafia pretending to be a human rights organization. And Larry Elder says lower taxes, less government spending on domestic programs, and fewer regulations mean better economy for everybody. I really do wish Larry Elder was more libertarian. Like, when I say more libertarian, like, I wish he just would sign up.
Big L.
Yeah.
He's very much like Vivek, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Why I'm a libertarian. This is written by Cato Institute. Let's see. Excellent. Is this your daughter?
Yeah.
Cute daughter.
That's what forced me into actually running.
How did that make you run?
Well, I'm disabled, and that's actually what I currently live on, is a structured settlement from losing my leg in a motorcycle accident back in 2008. And then going through the family court system, I found out that my daughter was mine at 3 months old. Then I was alienated from her after a few visits. And then it took me 10 months to get to a resolution. So I could get up to 3 hours a day for 2 days a week. and then I got temporary full custody, which again, understanding the system and how slow it is to have due process is a major problem. But then getting that temporary full custody, I had DCF in my home. I then went through our supervised visitation center, or her mother did, which is Family Resource Center of Southwest Florida, which from an ethical standpoint, my daughter's mother's attorney is the president of the supervised visitation center. So I watched the courts allow the fiduciary duty aspect manipulate the courts into understanding how comprehensive situation my daughter was in. And it was all just manipulation. The courts took everything from my leg as income, even though it's not taxed. And because it wasn't taxed, they decided to tax me with a 20% tax on top of that. So for one kid, I pay $932 a month with 50-50 custody. I also was forced to pay $39,232 to my ex's attorney. My daughter's mother is mentally ill, which is why she was Baker acted, and why I got temporary full custody. She posted videos of her mom's of her eyes rolling in the back of her head on mom's group, and then the moms had her Baker acted. This is prior to that. I had called our law enforcement for emergency evaluations, and I had concerns about my daughter's safety, and they threatened to actually arrest me for misuse of 911 services. So after seeing all these abuses in our system continuously just destroy my family and my ability to provide the lifestyle that I want for my daughter, it's been corrupt. And I've now have a nonprofit working with dads and hearing the stories, and also working with the National Parenting Organization and understanding how complex the situation is, not just for fathers, but for mothers as well. So, yeah.
As a guy who has, she just got visitation again, and thus it's joint, but I have primary physical custody of my two younger children. I understand how hard and how expensive your struggle is, and all BS aside, we should really get governments out of families. I understand you need to protect people from folks that are predatory. I get it. A lot of guys out there victimized women for years and years, so they had to protect them. But holy crap, this ain't back then. And nowadays, the system still ruins us, because 95% of child support goes to the woman, and 85% of single parents are women. So it's just right now how it goes.
Yeah, I have a bill giving parents equal rights the moment that DNA is determined, and putting the onus on the individuals till they can get into mediation. And I want to remove the teeth from the family court system. They should just be trying to unify the family, not divide it. If it needs to be divided, it should be left to DCF or DJJ. And those are the only entities. The family court should try to be building the family, not destroying it.
Dividing the family is how they keep us living in survival. It really is. It's one of the ways.
Are you working with Nathaniel Snyder at all up in Tampa?
No, I know about his campaign, but I haven't worked with many of our Florida candidates. Yeah.
You should definitely reach out to him, because I remember when he was on, he was talking about some issues that he was having with the Florida Department of Family Services, or the family courts in general, because he has some children that have special needs. In fact, we just played a commercial about it.
Yeah.
So I think that you guys could definitely form an alliance. And as I've said before, like folks that are on the federal level should be helping like the folks that are on the state level. And
from the federal level. Yeah, from the federal level, the biggest thing that I think is a big hurdle is the mandatory child support. Right now we have 1 in 4 kids don't have a father in the home, which I think is going to be significantly worse. And I think that those children are never going to know who their father is in the future, because the skilled labor and the dangerous jobs are diminishing for men, and women are still going to college and getting college degrees, starting to make more money than the average man. And with that being said, with child support, it's non-sexually discriminating. So what it does is it actually incentivizes these college educated women to end up filing as a single mother with a dependent than acknowledging the father's existence, because acknowledging the father's existence will then return to have the child be an extortion racket to take money from the mother, and the mother now has to deal with the father's opinion, which, I mean, if you're going to lose your freedoms, why would you choose to lose your freedoms for a handout?
I keep telling folks, I told both my boys this, I told my nephew this, you get one choice as a man. Well, two. You could abstain, and since all of us are sinners and abstaining ain't really great, you can choose to use a condom. After you decide not to use that condom, every other choice is taken from you. The woman can have the kid or not. She doesn't even have to tell you. All your choices are gone. You get one. Use the condom or not if you choose to engage in sex. I suggest you use the condom, but then again, you know, I have 4 kids and love all of them, so condom schmondom. Let's see what happens in the future. But it is an extortion racket. You are right. The one who makes the most money loses. So it's better to check who you're going to breed with and make a good decision with someone you love and you're going to stay with, instead of just picking the crazy one who's hot.
Speaking of money and something that you love and want to stay with, Joshua told me he wanted to talk a little bit about gold and silver, because we've talked a little bit about Bitcoin. So Joshua, tell us, what is it? Hold on, let me put you on full screen solo.
Oh, those are the bucks.
So another policy, because we all see what's going on with inflation and the mass spending of government. I feel like the best way that a state can actually, or the job of the state is actually to be a backstop for the constituents from the federal government. And one way that I think that we can do that is by going to a gold standard in Florida and allowing Florida to be the 6th state to make gold as legal tender. I want to make us the second largest, or the 2nd state to have a gold reserve, and take 10% of our state savings, which right now Florida has set $6 billion in savings. And I want to take 10% of it and convert it into gold. And then, as much as I'd like to get it all done in 1 year, I would like to work on creating a public-private partnership with Goldback or another entity that can actually start creating transactable gold. Goldback is a really interesting company because they're able to fractionize a troy ounce down to 1,000. So it's currently about $2.50 would be the cheapest bill based on US dollar. And what I would like to posture would be to taking that state savings and buying in bulk as a private public partnership, because you're not actually buying that currency at that spot value. You're paying a premium for the manufacturing cost and the securities that are into it. So I want to reduce the manufacturing cost and allow the consumer to have a higher entry point of, or a lower point of entry to start investing in gold that they can start transacting. I think that it helps a lot with localization, because mom and pop shops would probably adapt where Walmart and Target and Publix typically wouldn't. If you have gold in your wallet, guess what? It's not an asset. It's an asset. It's not a liability like US dollars. So that cash that you may be hiding because you're trying to save up to get out of government housing, or you're just trying to get a better opportunity in the future, all that savings gets diminished when we start the mass printing. So we can actually start saving in gold. And I think that if we ended up posturing in that level and getting a gold state bank that you can actually convert your US dollars into gold, and you can opt out of the US dollar, I think that that really will make Florida one of the most valuable places in the world, just because we actually have sound money.
I think it's a brilliant idea. If we've got a surplus, to take just 10% of it, just 10%, and put it into gold. That's like the oldest form of currency there is. It's not lost its value. It is only gained in value due to the devaluation of our paper money. And that is prosperity, my friend. That's the way. So that's a great idea. Florida, get on board with it. Like that's a great idea. I'm a marinate on that for a long time, actually. I'm totally going to play a commercial real quick.
Attention, Florida.
We believe in maximum freedom and limited government.
There will be multiple libertarians on your ballot this November. So take a chance on something different.
10% gold. That's the take the chance on something different. 10% gold. Wow. That's I had to play that because I was like, that is just a good fit for what's going on right now. So
I just got to ask, because I used to ride and I can't ride anymore either. I didn't lose a leg, but my back can't take it anymore. What'd you used to ride?
That was a Honda Shadow 750 that I went down on. But after my accident, I got back on bikes about a year later and got a 09 VMAX, which is my dream bike. And I'll probably buy one again when I don't live in the city. And then I had a BMW S1000R as well. Two of the baddest bikes in Lee County.
How do you ride if you said you lost a leg?
So it's my left foot. It's my shifter foot. I would use my heel and lift up with my knee rather than using my ankle. I would grab it with my heel and pull up with my knee. And for the longest time after my accident, I had insecurity. So I always wore pants. Mm-hmm. And as my insecurities went away, it was funny because a lot of people didn't know that I was missing my leg because of the way that I rode. And we used to have private roads that we would shut down and have street races in the old days. And we would, I would be a hell of a rider and people never knew until they saw me with shorts.
That rocks.
Don't let anything stop you.
That's what I'm saying. There are no rules. That's even better. I got to wear a brace if I go and it's just not comfortable because I end up doing that. And I got such bad, no big deal. I could do it, but there's not enough time. There's not enough money and I got too much other stuff I'm doing and it's just not worth it. So, I mean, not until the kids leave the house. Once the kids leave the house, we can research.
Yeah.
This isn't the crowd for me to tell my motorcycle story. I'm going to just say.
Oh, no. For every motorcycle story you got of somebody getting hurt, I've got 10 because I used to ride.
It's hurt feelings is what it is. Okay, I'll tell you. I once broke up with a guy because he went out and bought a motorcycle. I told him I wasn't going to be on the back of that motorcycle. I told him not to, I wasn't into motorcycles. I've been on the back of a motorcycle. I don't like it. And so he went out and bought a motorcycle. And it wasn't like 2-3 days that I saw this one chick that I worked with on the back of his motorcycle. And I was like, yeah, see,
I mean, you weren't using the seat.
Exactly. I wasn't using the seat.
You weren't using the seat. You know.
But, that was one of those things like when your girlfriend's like, I'm not going to ride on the back of your motorcycle. And then you still go out and buy back a motorcycle with an extra seat, an extra helmet. You know that you're not going to have that girlfriend for long.
Well, you said girlfriend, and girls sometimes change their mind. So who's to know whether or not you get on it? Not to mention, I'm kind of like the military. You got a fiance, that doesn't impress me. You got a girlfriend, that doesn't impress me. Wives are legally binding, which, by the way, is why I'm against marriage going through the state. Wives are legally binding. Girlfriends, I mean, you get a little bit of a vote depending on how long we've been together, but it's still the safest thing you'll ever have between your legs, guaranteed. So get on two wheels and ride. Y'all got me wanting to go get another bike.
I'm sure he's having a great life with somebody on the back of his motorcycle that ain't me. So whatever. I'm good with it. I'm a convertible girl. The balance thing, and I think I would be more apt to ride a motorcycle if I was the actual driver. I have trust issues with someone else, like riding on, like it's just I'm not the kind of person to ride the back seat.
Well, at least you found out early, Mm-hmm. And I always preferred a girl who rode. That way we could ride together, and because I feel really bad if I fell and she fell too. I'd rather have her ride on the side and then we get where we're going together. But whatever. Anything on Bitcoin? You covered gold and said why you liked it, and I enjoyed that.
So my opinion on Bitcoin really is we need to I don't support a central bank digital currency or the federal government getting into cryptocurrency. The state obviously can't do that. Gold and silver are the only legal tenders for the state's opportunity. But the only way that I would support the federal government going to a cryptocurrency was if the cryptocurrency was an open ledger for the individuals to see how the government is spending it. I don't like the open ledger of Bitcoin and Ethereum, though I do hold both. I don't like the fact that government can backdoor and say, oh, well, this address is associated to this person and this person and this person. And the amount of money that people can hold on ledgers, it's just, yeah, I think that it's a dangerous thing for government to get involved unless if they have the transparency and our money, our taxes are being the transparent aspect, not the way that we spend our money.
I can definitely see how you go about that. I mean, think about now when we have rules and laws and somewhat a little bit of a ledger to transparency of where our tax dollars are going. And we think about like how much money is going overseas, how much money is going towards the war machine, how much more would go towards those things that are, you know, destroying humanity basically and destroying America. If there was no transparency, if there was no accountability whatsoever. I like what you're saying there with like having more transparency for the government.
Yeah, like for example, the debt clock that I'm rocking, it just ticks and I can't see, oh, well, what was that check going to? I want to be able to see where that money is going to, and they just keep on spending it as if they have no accountability, and we need accountability in our government.
We do.
It's because they have no accountability. They have none. They're not beholden to us. They spend our money on what we want or what they want. And what people don't get is every dollar that they vote on is borrowed money. The parts of the money of the funds that are paid for and stuff are all in mandatory spending. Every dollar that they vote on and some of the dollars that they don't are borrowed.
Mm-hmm.
To the tune of 6 figures per second sometimes, depending on the day.
Yep.
Yeah.
$1 trillion every 100 days.
Is it down to 100? It was like 112 last time I checked, or 115. But
yeah,
still,
100 days.
It's disgusting.
Every 100 days, $1 trillion.
All right, I'm gonna do another commercial. I'm gonna do a Chase Oliver commercial that's got money on it because I feel like I don't remember this commercial exactly. So let's see if it's about money.
If no candidate receives over 50%, then the top two candidates head to a runoff. Now we know this race will head to a runoff.
New focus on the influence of libertarians in Georgia's Senate race. There's another player in the mix.
Voters deserve a chance to have their voices heard, and they shouldn't have to be lumped into one box or the other and have to be shamed into voting into two parties.
These two major parties aren't addressing their pain.
The CBO themselves said the Inflation Reduction Act wouldn't actually reduce inflation. Are you actually reading the bills, or are you just taking Chuck Schumer's word for it when you vote on these things? We obviously need to audit the Fed. Once people get a little bit more education about what the Federal Reserve does, they'll want to see it ended. You know, we claim to be the light of liberty unto the world, and if we seek to hold that mantle, we have to fix our broken immigration system. Big Pharma is subsidized to the tune of billions of dollars a year by our government. The only thing Democrats and Republicans can agree on is how to spend your money out of thin air and devalue our dollar. We need to bring market forces into healthcare that are going to lower the prices. I believe that we need true justice reform at every level, from the police to the courts to the prosecutors. And we need to do away with mandatory minimums. We need to do away with qualified immunity so that law enforcement can be held accountable in a court of law just like any of us. And that's something that I fought for. I've gotten tear gas in the streets while I protest for justice reform. Don't take politicians' advice for your healthcare. Take your doctor's advice. Why is that the radical idea and not the rational idea? I want to take power out of the hands of government and return it to each and every one of you, because that's where it resides. If not voted was actually on the ballot, they would win nearly every election in this country. Most of the people who vote represent themselves as independent, so it's important that we have voices that are independent of the two parties on stage. I want you to be able to start a small business. I want you to have control over your own body. And I want you to be able to live your life as your authentic self in peace. I'm Chase Oliver, a candidate for president, and I approve this message.
All right. So he talked a little bit about the independent votes. What's the political demographics out there where you are? And are you in a 2-way, 3-way, 4-way race?
So I'm in a 3-way race. I have the Republican incumbent. It's 240,000 people in Lee County that are Republican. There's 120 independents and 104 Democrats, I think. 104,000 Democrats, I think. So it's definitely a Republican leaning area. But yeah.
Okay.
Do you find that you're just as attractive to the Democrats as to the Republicans out there? Do you find that they're all coming towards you, or does one party versus the other lean towards you?
I feel like the Republican Party has been way more receptive, though. Like I said, I've done a town hall with the Democrat that's going against me. I work with him because, again, I'd much rather take the money from the corporations and give them a person that has individual thoughts. And also by working with them, I'm able to have the opportunity to get into organizations like the elk clubs and stuff like that, because they can't deal with one party over another. But if there's multiple parties, they can allow us to actually have that opportunity to speak. So I've been taking that opportunity and just giving people should be able to have the debates. And there's no real debate in politics, really.
100%. And one thing that you said earlier was you were concerned about the transparency with Bitcoin and Ethereum, how the transactions, I think that's what you were talking about. The last line down there, decentralized blockchains are immutable. The data entered is irreversible. Transactions are permanently recorded and viewable. Now imagine the government be in charge of a cryptocurrency and having all that information on you. God, that's just, your privacy's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Even a bank having that information is scary. So,
well, also the fact that, I mean, there is a limited resource of it because you have to actually do the labor of processing data. But at the end of the day, there's nothing that stops the government from pumping and dumping, just like they do with stocks and stuff like that, ultimately manipulating the system. Where gold, it's like, hey, you know what? I have the gold. Guess what? The gold may be up one day. I'm not going to sell it, or I will. But at the end of the day, you have something tangible that you're able to hold on to, and you're not susceptible to a pump and dump and all the government manipulations that government can do just by printing more money.
Yeah.
So,
is there a unifying message that you're trying to send out to the people in your district that you think that both sides of the party can really, both sides of parties, right? So both the Republican and Democrat constituents in your area could unify behind to get you elected? Is there a single unifying message that you're going for?
Really going in, I talk a lot about the family court system just because it's what got me into politics. And I've had a whole lot of support. Just the other day, I had a lesbian that I was telling her about my policies. And the last one that I thought that she'd be behind was the family court one. As I door knock and talk to the individuals, I like to present it as, if I were having a conversation with Ron DeSantis, what would be your number one concern? I tell them a few of my policies that I'm working on and get their input and see if they have any other ideas. So that way I can represent them. So the family court system has really been very potent down here. And then also I really like the gold. Everybody likes gold. I've had bankers, you start to pull out the currency and it's just like, it's really pretty. I mean, it's just, they have art on it. I mean, it just, when you have gold in your hand, it's like,
now,
I kind of want it.
Is the sheet gold, or is there a gold film inside of it, like a little gold chip size thing, or is it actually?
No, this one is 1/20th of a troy ounce, and it'll even.
So that's $50.
So this one's $124, I think, or somewhere around there right now.
Okay.
Worth of gold. They put like a polymer coating on it so it doesn't scratch. But when you melt it down, there is that much gold.
That's awesome.
Have gold in your hand. or
And,
gold.
and the Constitution did say money should clank. Article 1, Section 10, it said money should clink, 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 clink. Should be gold and silver is what it said. But
So how are you on some of the bills that are going to be on the ballot in November, in particular Initiative 3, the legalization of recreational marijuana?
I'm very pro marijuana. I think that we really need to get good state legislatures in Florida so that way we can be as liberal as possible with those policies. Because just because it's legal doesn't mean that it's going to be accessible. And I think that we should make it accessible. I would, if that were on my desk and we were starting to write the policies, I'd like to see at least individuals be able to have at least 2 plants for their own personal use. I personally use medical marijuana for myself due to leg and back pain. I was completely against it until I was 28 years old and my father was dying of cancer. And one of the resources that I said was, let's look at alternative measures. And it was like, okay, well, let me try it. And it really helped me from a medical standpoint. So I'm very much for ease of access. I actually got boxed out of the legalized medical marijuana because pain and suffering is not enough anymore to get the medical. So I get THCA from the vape stores, which I personally want to control my own food. I want to control everything that I ingest into my body. I want to have chickens. I want to have cows. I want to be able to make my own medication. I don't trust people, especially with what goes into my body.
I agree. I think that a lot of what the pushback against Initiative 3 in Florida has been, especially in the community of folks that do use marijuana already, has been, why is it not homegrown? Why is it only being supported by a select few cannabis industries, right? That's like saying that, you can only buy your cigarettes from Philip Morris or, and that's just, it's not what the people want. But at this point in the game, and I do think that a lot of politics is kind of like a football game, right? And we're at third down at the 30-yard line. And we've got, this one more play to do, and it's either going to be fourth down and we've got to try to get the first down and all that stuff and just keep pushing it. Or, there's an opportunity to do a full-on Hail Mary and get a bunch of libertarians in the U.S. Senate and the U.S. House to legalize and decriminalize and deschedule cannabis for the American people so they can grow it at their homes and let, people worry about the smell. And that actually came up this weekend, was about the smell. There was a lady in the audience that was just going on and on about the smell. And usually I say stuff like, well, I don't like the smell of farts, and I hate it when I smell alcohol and somebody throws up, and then you got the alcohol pukes, which all those are very valid, and I still hold to those, but I've found a better one. And I found it when I was in a mall walking around with my husband with our little campaign t-shirts, and there was a puppy store. And I don't know if I'm allergic to dogs, but I know that dogs have a very distinct smell. And I went in there because I love all animals. I even love puppies too, because I just wanted to, little animals. We had
you already
kittens on
said
earlier.
you were a cat lady. I saw you fawning over Amber's cat.
I know. I love all animals. I'm a typical white lady. I ain't scared of nothing. No critter. But when I walked in, the smell was just overwhelming, the smell of dogs. And I think about it in kind of my place of, I don't like the smell of dogs, but people still have medical issues where they have, service animals, they have seeing eye dogs, and it's their medical necessity. But not only that, they have a responsibility to keep their service animals from interacting with other people that don't want to be interacted with, right? Like their animal is for them, same as medical marijuana is for you. And if you're out in public, it's not the right thing to do to just, blaze up at a playground with a bunch of kids and say that, oh, it's my medical right. Well, it's interfering with other folks that don't like the smell. I get that. I don't like the smell of dogs. I don't like the smell of puke. I don't like the smell of farts.
Don't entertain Karen when they're being silly and they're like, "Oh my God, I don't like the smell." Okay, cool. We're
Don't
outside.
come around.
Walk
Don't
50
go in the
feet
pet
forward.
store.
I mean, you don't do it around kids, and if you, but cannabis is a lot less intrusive than cigars. It's a lot less intrusive than a lot of other stuff. Leave folks alone. It is an edible seed, an edible plant, a medicine, and an intoxicant. Leave it alone, study it, and figure out what the long-term effects it's doing to folks, because the stuff that we use isn't the stuff that they test at University of Mississippi, I believe.
Mhm.
That's like 11 to 13% in crap.
So we are coming to the end of our show. And I want to give Joshua the solo mic one more time. If you want to give your shout out, give your spiel, where you're running, what you're running for one more time, so folks know what you're about and where to find you. Go for it.
So once again, my name is Joshua Krakow. I'm running for State House District 77. I'm representing San Carlos, Lehigh, Gateway, Buckingham, and a small portion of Elva. And I grew up in this community, and I understand the problems that we all are dealing with due to gentrification. My area was 383,000 people when I was born here, and now we're almost 800,000 people. So a lot of our community has left, and a lot of us have been squeezed out. And I think that we really need to work on building our community so that way we can start relying on ourselves rather than on government. So please vote for me in November.
All right.
I appreciate you running, man. That was awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And see you all next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.